Hi, Annie. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Margarita.
Hi.
Hey everybody.
How are you tonight?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. Doing really good. It's definitely a Monday. How about you guys?
Definitely.
You even made that sound like a Monday, Margarita. That was good. The
A
Monday
lot of a
voice.
lot of work.
A lot of work today?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I sent out the group text. Danielle can't be on tonight, which I appreciated her letting me know. And then I'm not sure about anyone else because I have not heard back. So what we will do is we'll record this. The four of us will get started. And am I showing up as Mary Demansky?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's just really weird.
Just before you said hello, I go, who the heck is Mary Domanski?
Ah, I wonder if I emailed you guys the wrong link. That's really weird.
Well, I'm using a link that was from the 12th, so I don't think that's how I got in there tonight. Was from a link that you sent out on the 12th.
Okay,
But
so
I
it's
don't know.
the same link. Interesting. Well, we won't let that hinder us. She is one of my good coaching friends. So she manages.
Hi, Mary.
What?
I said hi, Mary.
Oh, hi. I wish I could be as cool as Mary, but are you having dinner, Kathy, or what's going on?
Oh, did you hear me?
Okay.
I'm just eating something. Sorry.
Having spaghetti? What sounds like spaghetti to me.
Yeah. How did you know?
I don't know. I could just tell. Okay.
That's weird. I'm muting myself.
All right. So tonight's a really good module. It really dives into the planning and it kind of goes in depth. So if I lose you at any point, just either speak up or tell me, you have a question or tell me to slow down. All right. So now that we know our SMART goals, it's important to take that next step and make those goals a reality. So, absolutely love the goal setting. It was a really fun module to do with each of you. It was nice to see all of your goals written down and what you plan to do, some of your strategies that you plan to have, and how you turn them into SMART goals. So, with that good plan in place, you will be sure to do the right stuff with the time that you dedicate to your Avon business. So tonight we are going to talk about the O in BOSS, so outreach, and then planning to grow your team, planning your Avon time, planning the right balance of activities, prioritize and gain control, and plan to take action through a 2-week calendar. I bet you we could all raise our hands. I know I can, and just say it can be difficult in our busy lives. So, does anybody else feel like planning could be an area that you definitely want to work on?
Absolutely.
Yes. So, because the module is about outreach, part of your plan will include your personal outreach. So, number one, who do you need to know to achieve your goals? And number two, what do you need to do to meet new people? This business is a people business, so you really need to plan your outreach and how you're getting out there. So, we're going to talk about the who and the what and what it means for your business. So, let's begin by talking about how you can plan to grow your team. We can grow our teams in two ways. One, we can recruit new representatives to join Avon. And number two, we can help some of our current representatives achieve a leader title. So let's start though by discussing how we can find people to join Avon. In our class, we've already talked about ways to get people to join or ways that we're going to find those people, right? So do you guys have any ideas, things that have worked for you to find new representatives to join? I know that Annie, you find new representatives by your YouTube site.
Yeah.
Utilize social media as your outlet to find new representatives.
Correct.
Kathy, I know that you have Elma leads, so you're finding new representatives that way, as well as utilizing chance encounters and your warm lead list, right? Margarita, you do the same. You share your Avon business with whomever you're around, and I know Jackie does as well. So just really thinking about the ways for you to, grow your team. And that's the biggest one, is finding new people out and about. As well, we're going to talk a little bit about, open houses and different ways that you can invite people in to see your product line and that you can share the opportunity. We actually are rolling out an incentive in the month of April, our region, for new recruits in the month of April. And they have to be personal recruits. And some of the prizes that you get when you have a new personal recruit, one is a $500 gift card. Woo woo. And who knows, maybe there's going to be 200 and 100, but I know for sure there's a $500 gift card on the table. And you guys can all get tickets for that. And you'll get Blab tickets as well, so as if they're a qualified new recruit. So there's some really cool things going on right now. And so it's all about that growing your team. So let's talk about, in order to find your next team members, it's important we talk to our warm list, the people we already know. In addition, it's important to find new opportunities to connect with new people. Remember, every interaction is an opportunity to grow your team. We need to plan prospecting activities in order to ensure that we continue to make new connections. So, what prospecting activities can you plan to ensure that you're actually out there meeting new people? Let's just talk about it.
Is it done?
Things that have worked for you. Let's talk about things that have worked for you in the past, for you to be out there prospecting and talking about Avon. Anybody? Things that have worked for you in the past to find new representatives to add to your team. Please share. There's so many different things that I know that we've done, or that you've probably done in the past. How about setting up a table outside of, who's ever done this? Outside of a grocery store, like a pop-up table. Or
I have.
you have, Kathy? What about the days when we would pop open the trunk and be like, hey, we're
Done that.
Avon.
Anything works.
Anything works, right?
Just anything. Just talking to people. Just doing it.
Absolutely. So it's important we think about what we've done in the past, though, to say, okay, did that work or did that not work? Is that something I want to keep doing, or is it something I don't want to do? And then pursuing your top customers. Think about the people that already really value the products and they're purchasing them for themselves. Maybe you have a few people on your team or one person that you're like, you know what? I know she's a great customer, but imagine if she was interested in the opportunity to get her own products at a discount, and in return, because she loves them so much, it probably wouldn't be that hard for her to sell them. So that would be like your warm market, right, that you're talking about. And then your personal network, family, friends, people you know. You guys may have tapped them out already. I don't know. But everybody's life changes on the week to week, on the month to month. Who knows? Maybe they need an opportunity. And maybe you're just the one to share that opportunity with them. Does anybody have a story that you had a family or friend that maybe wasn't interested when you first started selling, but over time they decided to become a representative? No? Okay. Um, Getting involved in your community.
Wait, I'm sorry. I was trying to unmute.
Oh,
It's Kitten. um, I tell people that all the time. Like I have one of my newer reps. She started in January. She's really working hard. She wants to. She has one person. She wants to get 2 more for her Kickstart at least, because she's got till campaign 10, I think. Anyway, so she was getting a little frustrated. I said, sometimes people just want to see that you are going to be serious and successful, I guess, and want to see that you're going to do well before they'll join you. But I've seen that happen, with some of my friends and some of my rep friends and stuff like that. So that can happen.
yes, I agree. I have seen it happen numerous times with representatives that I've worked with. So that's an option. So be thinking about that. And then getting involved in your community. I know many of you are already involved in different groups. You're involved in your workplace. I know Margarita has a young one. Maybe you're involved with the school in some aspect, Margarita. I'm not sure, but just be thinking about the places you do go and how you can participate in the community. I don't care if it's just going out to eat. That's a community establishment. Make sure those restaurant employees know who you are when you walk in. Oh, there's the Avon lady. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Bring them some samples when you come in. Invite everybody to your table and be like, hey, you guys, I brought some samples just for you tonight. So they know who you are and get involved. Attend community events. Who has any events on their calendar coming up? Job fairs, festivals, vendor shows, spring events. Anybody have anything on their current calendar? Or is anybody working towards an event? Okay. Well, that's something that you might want to think about, because we're going to be planning, and maybe you want to plan to try to step out of your comfort zone and try an event. Try something new to build your customer base and your potential new team member base. Fundraisers are awesome. Our Avon fundraisers are better than any fundraiser that I know of. And I sit on the PTO. I'm a board member, and I see fundraiser after fundraiser come into the school. And nobody pays you 40 to 50% on your fundraiser. So if you don't understand how to do a fundraiser, or you're not sure how to do it, you guys, it's so simple. If you just go to the link at youravon.com, they make it so easy. It's all on flyers. And so you can print the flyer packet out, and that's what the school or the church or the band group, that's what they would do the fundraiser with. It's a really great opportunity. And then running regular Avon opportunity meetings to help people see the opportunity Avon has to offer. So who likes the sound of opportunity meeting? Anybody? I mean, if someone says, hey, do you want to come to this meeting with me? I'm usually like, well, that doesn't sound very fun, a meeting. So it's really important that we start to change our mind frame and figure out a way to get our friends and family and others that we meet together without it sounding like a meeting. So we've been tossing around some ideas. Maybe you guys have some ideas. I know Margarita shared some at the workshop. She does a sip and sell. and she invites her team, and her team gets to invite friends and family. And kind of like they're having a party, they talk about Avon. And that's the perfect time for Margarita to bring up the opportunity to everyone that's in the room. Because not only are the new people hearing about it, even Margarita's team members are hearing of how they can duplicate what Margarita's doing. And maybe they can also join into leadership because they're learning from Margarita. We've also had ideas like an open house where you can invite people into your home or into the local restaurant that you go to that has a little back table or back meeting room. And you could say, hey, I'm having my spring open house. And you could do something once a month to get people together to share the opportunity. Has anyone ever done anything like that before? Or do you have a meeting, but you don't talk about the opportunity?
I've done open houses and meetings, opportunity meetings, yes, quite often.
Okay. So tell us, did you do them at your house, or do you do them at a local establishment, or what? How do you do it?
Well, I used to have I had an annual Christmas or holiday open house every year. This past year was the first year I didn't. At my home, and then I used to hold opportunity meetings at McDonald's all the time, or places like that. What I would do is I would invite leads. Well, this was back in the day too, when you had to sign them up in person.
Okay.
And I would invite leads, or what I would do is I would call and I'd set an appointment with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll meet here at this McDonald's this time or whatever. And then I would invite other leads and other people to come at the same time so that I could sign up all these people at once.
Okay.
And then, of course, you know, you're in public so people can see you and whatnot. So that's kind of how I ran them. I haven't done them much lately. I'm doing them online, though, now.
Oh.
Like that. So, but I would like to get out in public again more. Although I think this social media thing is really starting to click, and I got a couple online orders and a new a rep out of the blue signed up yesterday.
So what are you?
I think I'm figuring out this social media thing.
So can you go a little further for us? Because if you're figuring it out, we all want to know because we want to figure it out too.
Okay, so I have my, you know, your personal profile. I have my page and my group. So basically on my page, I'm setting up interactive memes. Are they memes? Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Interactive memes, like asking a question or something like that, a few times a day. And so people are responding to it, and it's not even anything to do with Avon, but people are responding to it, like, what's the last movie you saw in the theater, or you know, just funny things.
Okay.
And people are commenting, people are liking and sharing, and so if somebody reacts to it or likes it or loves it or whatever, you can then invite them to like your page. And like I've noticed, friends of friends are getting it too. So
interesting.
That's all I'm doing. And then I'm not putting my link or anything, but they can, if they go to my page, I mean, they can click my Shop Now button, but I'm just sharing fun things and not even putting a link or anything, but people are chattering now and commenting and liking and sharing, like interactive memes. That's it.
So are they from the Avon social?
Well, some of them are, but I just typed into Google interactive memes, and I just found a bunch, and I set up for the week. I schedule posts for the week, and then I don't even have to do anything. I just take one day and I set up, you know, like 3 a day or so, and then once in a while I'll throw in like a link to my website or just a picture of a product, or like my YouTube video on how to earn 3660, but I would only do like that, like 1 out of 5 posts.
Okay.
So people aren't really interacting to that, but they see my page then, and then they can say, oh, there was that Avon lady, and they can go back. So I'm getting a lot more activity on my page, just to the different interactive memes, like funny things. If you go to my page, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think people love to respond to something that pushes their buttons. Something that they can respond and give their opinion or their thought on, right?
Yeah, like one of them was like, would you rather have a personal chef, a maid, a nanny, stuff like that, or just, one today was, what was the last movie you saw in the theater? Just stuff like that.
Okay.
And like I've seen men like sharing it too.
So once they like it, once they respond and stuff, then do you go and ask them to like your page, or they?
No. Well, no. Well, if they interact, you can click on that, and if they don't like your page already, you can invite them to like your page. I'm not saying anything to them. I'm just clicking the invite. If they comment, you can't.
And this is all through Avon Social.
Actually, no. I've been doing it on my own. I've just been setting up posts. But you can do the same thing through Avon Social. Like some of them I do through Avon Social, because I'll look and I'll see if there's some that I like on there.
Well, and
but like some of their pictures are stupid, in my opinion.
Well, what's cool about Avon Social too is you can create your own meme, or you can create your own post. So if
you could do it through Facebook too. Just schedule a post.
Okay, so
I'm doing both. I'm doing some through Avon Social and some on my own.
So is anybody else doing that or have questions for Kathy? Because Kathy has had some really good turnaround on interest in her website and her webpage. So anybody have any questions for Kathy on how they can do that also? Because I'm telling you, if you can sit comfortably at home and get people interested in your page by doing that, then heck yeah, 2 new customers and a new recruit over the past weekend. Is that what you said? I mean, that's huge. All right. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Does anyone else have anything that they've worked to connect with new people? It's good to get each other's ideas, because we need to have some of these things going on in our calendar. So now let's focus on our plan for identifying potential leaders on your team. So we talked about new ways to recruit, but now let's talk about the second way, how to find those potential leaders that can start recruiting on your team. So check out this grid, and we're going to review it. We're going to look at what defines motivation and sales success. Okay, so motivation goes up here on the left side, and then sales success is down here on the bottom. We have a low to a high. And the purpose of the grid is to really help you identify who you should focus on helping achieve a leader title. So let's look at some of the characteristics. So think about some people on your team, and you might already have some people in mind that you feel like are highly motivated. You may have some people on your team that you feel like, they're really not motivated. They only put an order in every 5th campaign. Okay, and then maybe have some people in the middle here for motivation. And then if you think about their sales success, you might have some people that have really great sales that you know could be a President's Club member, or that you know are already a President's Club member. And then there's some others that are low. So a potential leader would actually go into this top corner where they have high motivation and high sales success. And when I say high sales success, they're hitting that 200 or above mark, right? because to be any type of leader in Avon, you have to have a personal sales of 200 or close to 200. So think about people within your team. You know, somebody who really believes in Avon, and you can just tell they eat, breathe, and sleep Avon. They believe in it. How about somebody who wants to grow her team? Maybe you have somebody that says, yeah, I want to. Think about somebody who's driven, that has a lot of drive, or somebody you know that's coachable, that is always wanting more help, you know, that is willing to hear what you have to say, and they really try to move their business. Somebody who participates. We all have somebody who's always liking our posts or responding to our emails. We also want to think of somebody who has a positive attitude, who's able to look at things and say, oh, and see the positive in it. And then somebody who wants to help others. Maybe you're all thinking of somebody on your team. But then we also want to look at their sales success. Somebody who has, over the time, grown their sales. Somebody who's consistent on placing orders. They pay their orders on time. They have quite a few customers. And they also utilize and leverage the tools that Avon puts forward for us. What are some other things that you have found to be a motivator or an important something important that you've seen for a potential leader? You know, one that pops in my head, and maybe you have one, other than what Avon has listed here. Something that pops in my head when I see somebody who is like dressing the part, looking professional, wearing our clothes, branding themselves Avon, I feel like, okay, she's a potential leader. She looks the part. That's one thing that I look at. Now, we can't always judge a book by its cover, but when we're looking and trying to find who our next leaders are, that's something that I always look at. And then how about you guys? Is there something that you've looked for in a leader, or you can just be honest and say, I really haven't focused on that piece of my business yet? Okay, here's another question. Do you have somebody in mind that could potentially be a leader, like somebody in your downline that you feel fits in each of these categories or has the potential to fit in these categories? Be thinking about that. That's such an important piece of our business. So now that we've determined how we can plan to grow our teams, let's shift our focus and plan on the time and activities that we need to focus on. Avon time is the time that you dedicate just to your Avon business. And I know that we all juggle so many things in our lives. We have family time. We have times with our spouses or our partners. We have social time when we're out and about being social, which is a great time to talk to people about Avon. We have me time where you're just like, I am just going to chill and have my own time. And then we have our Avon time. And the only way you can ensure that you achieve spending time with all of these people and your business and everything that comes your way is you have to plan. So let's consider how much time is required to achieve your goals. We each looked at our goals in our last session, and you all have some awesome goals in mind, and I know that they're going to be achievable. But how much time is required for you to get there? And how much time do you have available given all of your other responsibilities? So what are some other considerations? Do you guys have any other considerations that you know you have to account for? on your calendar. I'm getting to know you all pretty well. I know Jackie is helping with her grandbaby and gets to take care of her grandbaby a lot of the time. So Jackie would account for that time frame. Kathy, you have your dog business. Margarita has a full-time job. Annie is doing a lot of YouTube and coloring videos. So there's things that each of you have that you need to consider. But you also need to consider that specific time for your Avon time. That way you can really focus and be effective during that time frame. And the only way to achieve your goals is to make sure you have Avon time on your calendar. So as part of our application activities this week, I sent you the homework last Thursday night. You're going to reflect on your goals and establish your Avon time. So that is a lot of what our homework is. So we're going to talk about how to make the most of your time and make sure it's balanced correctly. So think about your current Avon time, the time you spend working on Avon right now. And then think about the activities that you're doing in that time frame. Avon they break it down for us into 4 sections. We have our personal piece of the business here at the bottom, which is planning, selling, and managing. And then we have our team piece, which is leading. So during our application guide, it's going to ask you to kind of look at this and say, okay, how much time am I actually spending on my personal business, and how much time am I spending on my team? Do these look familiar, by the way, the planning, selling, managing, and leading? Remember our self-assessment that we did on the very first webinar we did together? Most of this is on our self-assessment. So you'll feel a little more familiar with the planning, selling, managing, and leading. So how much or what % of your time do you think you're spending on these areas? Who feels like they're spending a lot of time in the selling department? Can I get a what? If you're spending a lot.
What?
Yeah, I mean, we are selling a product. We are selling a product we love, right? So that's going to be a high % probably for you. How about planning? Are you really spending a percentage of time on your planning? And we're basing this on 100%. Okay, so let's say that you're spending at least 65% of your time on selling and 5% of your time on planning. That's what you need to kind of look at when you're doing your homework. And then, leading, how much time are you actually leading your team? Meaning reaching out to them and conducting coaching calls or saying hello, modeling success with your downline, conducting trainings with your downline, sharing best practices with your downline. So be real when you're judging your current time frame, because the ultimate goal is to help you figure out how to be more balanced. Anybody have questions on that? And
No.
They're giving us.
Are they saying that you should spend more time on personal?
They are.
Because I think I'm doing more with my team lately.
Well,
managing and leading. Managing is part of his team as well.
I believe that is because in managing it says onboarding new reps.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of time.
And reading reports and running team meetings.
I really think they should switch this managing like half between personal and team.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what they're saying is focus 50 to 75% of your time on your personal biz and focus 25 to 50 on your time leading your team. Divide your selling time equally between.
You have your personal, like for instance, like I have established customers and whatnot. I want to grow the team more, so
And
I'm focusing on that. I don't know.
And that's fine, Kathy. I think that's what's working for your business right now. And you get to balance the scale. That's just Avon's recommendation. Because here's the scoop. How many people are on your team, Kathy?
63.
The larger your team, the more percentage you have to put towards managing and leading your team. The smaller your team, let's say you have 5 people on your team. You don't need to spend as much time managing and leading. Now, you definitely want to spend a lot of time, if you only have 5 people on your team, selling the opportunity under personal. So you're trying to build your personal business up, and that's why you put more percentage into that time frame right now, because you're not only selling the product, you're trying to sell the opportunity to others around you so you can start managing and leading a bigger team. And then you can start putting a bigger percentage into managing and leading your team. Does that make sense? So once you understand how you should balance your activities, it's important to actually plan what you're going to do. So you'll want to write down all your planned activities. You want to write them in order to prioritize them. And you want to reflect on your activities and break them down into tasks. The more specific you are, the better. So this is very similar to SMART goals, but it's breaking your activities down into tasks. Smaller tasks are more actionable and less intimidating. So for example, an activity might be to plan, you want to plan to participate in a local vendor show. Maybe there's a farmer's market and you want to plan to participate in that. So tasks related to that activity would be 1, send a confirmation to the event coordinator. 2, get your products and brochures together for the event. And 3, plan your outfit. What are you going to wear that day to be the brand of Avon? So having your activity, but then breaking down your tasks so you know that you're going to be more organized and that you're going to be able to make it happen. Because doesn't it feel better? So I know I have this family fun night that I'm the chair of for the school coming up. But every time I thought about it, I would get stressed out because it's thinking about a broad level as an activity. But then I was like, okay, Kate, you've got to break this down into tasks and it's going to feel better. So I get my paper and pen out and I write my list of tasks. And then I started checking them off and I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. This is going to be easy. And it allowed me to be more effective because I broke it down. So is there any thoughts or questions on that?
No.
Okay. You all can do that. I know you probably already do it all the time. Okay, so now we're going to talk about gaining control by taking the right actions. So in order to manage your time most effectively, it's important to prioritize your tasks and schedule them into your calendar. So imagine this prioritization framework that allows each of us to consider tasks based on importance and urgency. Urgency is defined based on what is occurring within a campaign. And tasks that are beyond this campaign, that maybe you have more time to work on them, so they're not as urgent. So urgent tasks would be, what's going on right now in this campaign. Not urgent would be more so things that are in the future, like 2 campaigns away. So what we're going to do is take a look at this bucketed list here, and we're going to look at the bottom left. So the less important, running my business, and what's less important. So there's a few examples here. Send team newsletter, train your downline on products, reorganize files on your computer, and in the less important area, if there's anything in there that you're doing that you feel like you can delegate, do it. Assign it to somebody else. I think one that we could delegate out, those of us that use brochures, you could totally delegate it out for somebody else to stamp your books. It's important, but it's less important for you to be working on, right? The bottom right, this is the less important and urgent category. These are mainly administrative tasks that should be clustered or batched together and scheduled within the same time slot each week. A task here might be responding to a customer complaint or place and deliver orders. They're less important, but they're urgent. They've got to get done, right? Answer questions from your downline. Sometimes you can take the less important and urgent category and cluster them all into one setting and just say, okay, I'm going to do my cluster right now for the next hour. I'm going to get back to Susie because she had a question about her order. I'm going to get back to my customer who needed to know what skincare might be better for her. And then I'm going to get back to, so-and-so and so-and-so, and just take an hour to do that. And obviously it's going to take a little while to deliver your orders. But hopefully you understand. There's some things that you can just hurry up and do all at once and just get done and cluster them together. Things that aren't as important, but still considered urgent. The top left is important but not urgent. These tasks should be scheduled in the future. A task here might be planning a team meeting focused on downline duplication. So different examples, attend networking and recruiting events. Hey, those should be urgent and important. Right now they should be. Plan team meeting focused on duplication. Hold coaching conversations with your downline. These are things that you just need to schedule into your calendar, and you need to hold your schedule, and make sure that you're following through. Urgent things, urgent and important, would be areas of focus, the areas that you want to focus on. A task here might be coaching a leader with a title at risk. If you have a leader on your team that's about to lose their title, that would be really important to get a hold of her right away and say, oh my gosh, let's talk. What's going on? How can I support you? Sales calls to key customers, making sure that you're getting in contact with your customers so you can get your sales. Follow up with no orders. And that's urgent. You need your sales. You need to make sure that you're following up with your customers and being the best Avon rep that they could ask for. And these definitely are your focus tasks and that you need to complete on your own. I kind of like the ones that we can delegate out. We need to do more of that, don't we? So you have a little more time to do all the things that really are important. So looking at the to-do list on the left of the screen, where might some of these items fall into the worksheet? Plan a fundraiser. Where do you guys think that would be?
Ooh,
No answers are wrong.
Under the not urgent, but still important.
It may be something that can actually be delegated.
Yeah. I think, though, important, not urgent is good because what that would do is allow you to schedule it out for the future and you know it's in your calendar. If you schedule it, it's in your calendar. So I agree with you on that, Annie. And plan for upcoming quarter. Where would that go? For your next quarter.
I'm thinking that would be urgent, wouldn't it? To get.
Well, if you think about the next quarter coming up, it would be in the future.
Okay.
So I think that would be something we more schedule.
Not urgent.
Not urgent, important.
Yes, it's important, definitely, but I don't think it's urgent. I think you can say, okay, I know the next quarter's coming up in 2 campaigns. So next week, Friday, I'm going to take an hour and kind of look at next quarter and see where I want to be sales-wise each campaign, see where I want to be, with my team sales each campaign, and schedule that out. What about reorganizing my files?
Not urgent, less important.
Yes, absolutely. What about responding to a customer complaint?
Urgent.
Okay.
Like cluster it together.
Personally, I would make that urgent. If it depends on the customer. Who has customers that complain all the time? I mean, really, I think you get to know your customers, and if it's the same one that's going, well, I really don't know about this or that. I mean, you could
Those want to get rid of that complain all the time. It's like
right. But if it's a new customer, if she had a rash or something, a breakout, or I mean, we can all kind of
you want to handle right away.
Exactly. But if it's one that you know that you can get back to in a couple days and she's going to be cool with that, you can cluster her on the day that you're going to do your cluster in the urgent, less important. We'll do one more. Attend a network event. That's a tough one. Attending.
Well, it kind of depends. It kind of depends with that. If you're looking to to reach out to team members, I mean, you're gonna plan it. I would say not urgent, but it would be important to network and include an event. Yeah.
You guys agree?
Yes.
I agree too. But those networking events are important. So if you get invited or if you find one, make sure you put it on your schedule. It's not urgent, but it's important. We need to wear our Avon name proud and show them what we're made of out there in the real world. Okay. So let's consider some additional things we can do to set ourselves up for success. So continuing to focus on the more important and urgent tasks. And every so often, or each quarter, we maybe start to see warning signs. So take an opportunity to look at the tasks you're completing each week. Can any of them be delegated, scheduled, or clustered? Setting appropriate expectations when you're out of the office. Does anybody ever go away and feel like, gosh, what am I going to do with my Avon business? How's this going to work? Because Avon is always there knocking at our door, isn't it? So making sure you're setting those expectations for your customers and how you can make sure they know that you care, but that you are maybe taking a short vacation for yourself. Something I could mention is set your email to out of office when you'll be returning, or put on your voice message to reflect that you may not be 100% available or that you're partially available for the next 3 days. Just so they know.
I did that.
What?
I did that with the voicemail. When we took our last vacation, we were gone for a week, and I reset my voicemail, and I told them, if it was family emergency or anything, leave a message and I'll call you back. If it was for Avon, leave a message, but don't expect me to return your call for a week, that kind of thing.
That is awesome, Annie, because that just shows that you have respect for the people around you. You don't want to just let them ring and ring and ring for a week out and they're going, where is she? Why isn't she responding? It's very...
Well, right, and I don't want the guilt either from somebody that keeps calling and I don't want to answer because I'm trying to have a good time. So in that, I would feel guilty. So it's easier on both the customer or team member or myself, to do that.
Absolutely. And it's teaching your team members, if they're reaching out, how to be a professional, saying, oh, wow, my leader even put it on her voice message that she'll get back with me by this time. But how about when you're in your office, thinking about establishing some leader hours for yourself? Leader hours provide an open call line for your entire downline at set times throughout the week. For example, every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 11 a.m., I will be available. And the benefit is that you are able to control your distractions throughout the day or week and provide the downline with designated times that you're available. This may require an adjustment period for some, but soon your team will come to understand when you can be reached and the importance of being self-sufficient. I actually love that they're training to that, because we are business women and we can make our own schedule and we can be open to whatever works for our schedule. Maybe your office hours are from, 5 to 8 p.m. because that's when you're home. That's when you're working your business, you're on your computer. But all of us are different. But I'm telling you right now, working from 6 a.m. until 11 or 12 at night, getting inbox messages and emails and text messages, that brings me back to my district sales manager days, right? When there wasn't a work-life balance. And in order for us to be successful, we need to make sure we're not distracted. We need to make sure we have a work-life balance. And we need to put ourselves first. So just keep in mind what works best for you when you're filling out your application guide and you're going through your schedule, okay? And then, so here comes the calendar piece. Who likes calendars in the room? I do, personally.
Me, love them.
Me too.
Calendars are amazing. Oh my gosh, we need them. So this is your roadmap for getting the right stuff done to achieve your goals. So this is an example of a 2-week calendar. You can see that this leader marked her Avon time in purple and planned a balance of activities and tasks to achieve her success. She obviously works part-time and focuses on her Avon business in the middle of her days when her kids are out of the house. So once you complete your 2-week calendar, it's important to reflect and ask yourself these questions. Does my calendar reflect the right balance of activities and tasks to achieve short-term and long-term goals? Am I planning to be busy or productive? That's a good question. Am I planning to be busy or productive? There's a difference, I think. Can I delegate any of these tasks? Did I mark time for handling a cluster of tasks that are urgent but not important? Am I setting proper boundaries to be effective with my own time? So as you're filling yours out, make sure that you're thinking about all this stuff that we talked about. And this is your application guide, your plan, your outreach. So This homework might take a little bit longer than our homework has in the past, but please take your time and just focus on it. It's actually pretty fun to look inside your business and to get your business on track when it comes to planning. Everybody has this, correct? If not, I can read.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a pretty detailed document. And make sure you're putting your activities that you want to do and making them task oriented. And then lastly, we have our hot topic question, and this will be for our collaboration call, which is not this Thursday, but the following Thursday. Share an experience in your past when you got lost.
Protected by your government.
Explain how it made you feel and how you overcame it. I will put that in our Facebook group so you can remember that question. But it's a fun one. That's a fun one to talk about when you got lost. And then lastly, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Okay, so all of us have our one-on-ones this week. I look forward to speaking with each of you. And anybody, Kathy, I think we have our next call tonight for our Path to Bronze Ambassador. So if you're going to jump on that, that's coming up. And otherwise, thank you all so very much. Message, call, text if you need anything in the meantime while you're filling out your application guide, okay?
Kate, do you have time to answer a quick question for me before you go
Yes.
on to the next one?
Yep.
Okay. I have a person right now. She had this possible new recruit, and she was a rep previously over a decade ago, had a balance due, but she paid it off. At that time, the person that was her district manager told her she would never be able to sell Avon again, but she does not owe any money to them now. Is she able to sign up and just be like a no instant credit rep, do you think, or do I have to call leadership and see what they say about it?
Do you have her old account number?
I don't have the number. I know what name she's under, but I don't have her number.
My recommendation is to call the leadership help desk. Do you have that number?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Because Avon does have some rules about it.
Okay.
So if you go past a certain time and you didn't pay your bill and it went into the debt collection.
Oh, no. She paid it off back then. So it's been over a decade that happened. And now she wants to try again. She didn't just now pay it. I mean, she paid it
a long time
years
ago.
And years ago.
Oh.
Right.
Well, here's what I would do. I would call Avon and just tell them, see if they can even pull up her name. If they cannot, then I think she's in the clear.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Good night.